Hello guys, this is MagicRay, and I'm showing you some resolution comparisons between native 1440p versus native PS2. I will also be doing some frame rate testing and show you guys the best settings for Jimmy Neutron Attack of the Twonkies. We are using large frame buffer, a custom resolution of 2560 by 1440p, 16 times anisotropic filtering, bitmapping is on automatic default, full direct 3D recommended is on, and we are using 16 times MSIA. This game costs 1.3 gigabytes of video RAM with this setting on at 1440p, so it's quite cheap actually. We are using texture filtering of display, FXAA shader is on. Now I am using bilinear forced. Some of the text HUD in the game and also other HUDs in the game remain blocky, especially at 1440p, so just use bilinear forced and it will filter them, so it will look more blurrier, but it won't look as blocky. Now this game does have some shadow issues and I can't seem to get it to work on Open GL, so I'm just using my classic DirectX11. Let's go over to the emulation settings. I am using MTBU. This game doesn't really need it at all, even though the game runs at 60 frames per second, but I'd recommend it if you can't hit full speed. You need 3 cores, I have 6 cores. I have it on for video purposes. Let's check out the dimensions. This game targets 640 by 448. Let's have a look at this. So, since this is Jimmy Neutron, I'm not sure which engine this game runs on, but it looks really well. All the environment looks really well for its aging resolution. So when you upscale it to a higher resolution, it's not much of a difference, but it definitely does look noticeably better. So if you look at this boss over here, if I flick over to native 1440p, you can see that he looks a lot more clearer. And if you looked, just a few seconds ago, you saw all the cracks in the ground. They had a lot of jaggies and aliasing on the ground as well. Now it's all completely eliminated with 16 times MSIA on, and also 1440p native enabled as well. Now, if you look at the HUDs, they look pretty average for its time. The boss HUD, and you've got the health and battery HUD. Unfortunately, they don't scale up too terribly well for today's standards, but not too bad. Now, also, let's have a look at here real quick. So we're going to have a quick look at native 1440p compared to native PS2 with the HUDs. So here is native PS2 with the HUDs. As you see, it's a lot more blurrier, but if I upscale it to a higher resolution, it looks clearer, but obviously shows its age. The higher the resolution you scale up, the more blocky it is, even with a filter on. Now, I've got the texture filtering set to 16 times anisotropic filtering, and it looks really good. There is barely any aliasing on the ground, plus the blurriness in the viewing in the oblique angles also eliminates the blurriness as well, so that's good. But also looking at this texture on the ground, you can't really tell the difference. There are other textures in the game that you can tell the difference, but this one here you can't really tell. But if I go back to native 640 by 448, which is the PS2, you can see there's a lot of aliasing on the ground over in the far distance, but also you can't really tell much just besides looking at the colors. If you look at the normal eyes, you can see a bit of shimmering up ahead, but that's really about it. Otherwise, this game has actually quite aged well for the resolution wise. And the game does target 60 frames per second, I should have mentioned earlier. It's on the top left corner of the screen. You can see this game's pretty much held a good 60 until now on software mode. But if I go back to native 1440p, it's a lot easier to run. The CPU, if you have a decent CPU, the game holds 60 frames pretty much locked the whole time at this resolution. So you'll have no problems at all. But that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.